Good morning, everyone. I apologize for starting the meeting late. We had a little conversation about a budget for us, and that was worthy conversation. I appreciate that. Robert, can we now take attendance, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It appears we have our quorum. We have 19 people present. Thank you. Appreciate everyone being here today. We're going to now move through our docket. We're going to move first to Subcommittee 3 report, and that'll be Delegate LaRock's committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We heard testimony on House Bill 88, golf carts and utility vehicles in the town of Ivor, and they would be authorized and allowed to operate on highways. Patron Delegate Washman. The committee recommended reporting 6-0, and I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Everyone vote on electronic voting board, please. Bill reports 17-0. I'm sorry. Everyone vote 18-0. I apologize. Okay. We're good.
Yep. Mr. Chairman,
move forward.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, House Bill 1085 dealing with the Peninsula Airport Commission. A bill brought forward by Delegate Cordoza. We heard testimony, and I think this is a good example of the patron working with those potentially impacted by his bill and coming to the conclusion that perhaps a little more time was necessary. So the recommendation of the subcommittee was to continue until 2023 by a voice vote. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This is a voice vote to carry over Delegate Cordoza's 1085. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. Motion carries. The bill is carried over. Does that conclude your work, Delegate LaRock?
It does conclude.
Okay, we'll now move to Delegate Runyon, Subcommittee 4.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Our first bill is House Bill 553, Commercial Driver's License, patroned by Delegate O'Quinn. The subcommittee recommended reporting with amendments, so I move the adoption of the amendments. The amendments, I'm sorry.
We have the amendments moved with a second. All in favor of the amendments signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the bill is now properly before us. Move forward, Delegate.
I move to report as amended and refer to appropriations, Mr. Chair.
Second.
So we have a motion to report with amendments and a second. All in favor, vote on the electronic voting board. Bill reports as amended, 19-0. Delegate Runyon.
Our next bill is House Bill 567, Toll Relief Program, patroned by Delegate Don Scott. Subcommittee recommended continuing to 2023 by voice vote.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion to report with a second. All in favor, vote on electronic voting board?
No, voice vote.
Oh, I'm sorry, voice vote. So all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. So, okay, Delegate, move forward.
Our next bill is House Bill 632, Exhaust Systems Excessive Noise, patroned by Delegate Carr. And we have a subcommittee recommended reporting with a substitute, so I move the adoption of the substitute.
Second.
So we have a motion to approve with a substitute. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, nay. Bill's properly before us.
Move to report with a substitute.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I had requesters.
Oh, 1 second, please. We have Delegate Watts. Your question, please.
We have adopted the substitute. I have a motion to amend the substitute.
Okay.
The
You mind reporting your motion, Delegate Watts?
Yes, thank you. The council has it, but the motion is on line 12 of the substitute. After noise from A, insert motor vehicle, comma. Currently, that code section only deals with motorcycles, mopeds, motorized skateboards or scooters. So it does not address the issue that has been brought before us on this, and I believe that's clarifying, or I hope that's regarded as clarifying.
Yes. Delegate Watts, you and I and others have had extensive conversation. I think we're sort of at odds in our opinion of that because we have certain vehicles who, from the factory, not with any modified exhaust system, could exceed some of the decibel ratings in localities. So as the bill is properly before us, and as state police has stated, they can enforce the allowed modified exhaust systems, and that's what we're trying to do with this bill. I think your bill is getting into the localities noise ordinance, which crosses over, and I think if we put motor vehicles there, it's going to cause some consternation and uncertainties of localities trying to enforce. And what we're trying, and I certainly respect your position, Delegate Watts, I always do. You're very thorough and very conscientious in your deliberation. But I honestly think we need another bill with that language that strictly talks about noise ordinances for localities and motor vehicles. If we modify this, I think Major Maxey, you mind coming forward, please, and sharing your thoughts and opinions on this issue? And we've certainly looked at this in depth. I understand what everyone's trying to accomplish. So, Major Maxey.
Mr. Chairman, Ron Maxey, Virginia State Police. I'm happy to answer any questions here regarding the local ordinance. The prohibition that's in the original language that passed out of subcommittee is enforceable by the state. Localities that pass local ordinances, state police is unable to enforce the local ordinance. As you mentioned, there's always a concern with a motor vehicle that is transient, that people are getting off the interstate they're traveling through, may not know what the local ordinance is for a certain jurisdiction, and may unintentionally be in violation of that with standard equipment that does come on the vehicle from the factory.
Okay.
If I may, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, ma'am, Delegate Watts.
Thank you. As I looked at the substitute before us for Delegate Carr's bill, I was not going to get into local ordinance, but the first thing is local ordinance. And since it was the will of the subcommittee in the substitute to include the local ordinance in addressing the issue is from motor vehicles. It is not from motor scooters and from motorcycles and from skateboards. So since this was in this bill, I felt that it was clarifying to say motor vehicles. The reason why, and I can assure you that what I am doing is representing a lot of constituents throughout Northern Virginia, but concentrated also in several areas of my district who are and have been for years furious about this. Because the enforcement issue that a local ordinance allows you to do that state police would not be involved in is at midnight, 2 in the morning, on the warehouse parking lot, on the shopping center parking lot, on the church parking lot, often as local noise ordinance stipulate, at a certain time within 500 feet of a residential district, this noise level exceeds what is covered by the noise ordinance. And that then allows enforcement that would not be enforcement on the highways of the Commonwealth, but rather the enforcement on the real estate within the jurisdiction noise ordinance. And we have had this for years in other areas of noise. Certainly the blaring party, which goes on past midnight, is the type of thing that this is designed to cover, and it is exactly a major aspect of the disturbance that is so unacceptable to my constituents. Perfectly acceptable to have it going down the middle of the street in the middle of the day. But the problem is what happens in the meetups when it's not just one individual. It is a lot of wheelies and a lot of activity going on for an extended period of time by multiple vehicles. So this is why I felt that since this bill had noise ordinance in, it was clarifying to deal with the problem that is before us, which is motor vehicles, not motorcycles and motor scooters, et cetera.
Delegate, I still contend that law enforcement has the ability to regulate noise from a motor vehicle with an exhaust system that has been modified by this existing code. So I think
Only three very specific items, not broadly. Only if it's in disrepair is under 1049. But 1047 is very specific on pieces which need to be modernized, but as you have observed, I will try again next year, saying, okay, this year we'll deal with these two aspects.
right.
We'll take out the pretext and we will allow noise ordinances.
And Delegate, I think that would be the proper path forward. Delegate McQuinn,
That's okay, based on what she's just said.
you're fine, Delegate McQuinn?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So Delegate Watts, you understand, I understand and I appreciate what you're trying to do. We've got a path forward to regulate the noise of motor vehicles on the highways, and I think that can also be regulated in localities based on the existing code language that we had prior to. But you and I disagree respectfully on
My
that.
county attorney, 3 meetings.
You and I disagree on that
disagrees.
respectfully, but you can, Doug, what I would ask for you to do is bring a bill back next year that addresses noise from motor vehicles in localities on private lots. And that's, I think, our approach to this today. So the delegate, you have an amendment request before us? Did you make a motion?
I did make an amendment,
Okay,
yes.
there's a request for an amendment before the body. All in favor of accepting, we need a second on that amendment.
Second.
So we do have a second. So voice vote. All in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? No. Amendment fails. So the bill's before us. It is- Delegate McQuinn moves to report the bill with the substitute. Delegate? With substitute. That's correct. Have a second?
Second.
We have a motion to approve and a second. All in favor? Vote on electronic voting board.
Mr. Chair,
Delegate McQuinn?
yes.
You vote yea?
Yes.
Okay, Delegate McQuinn votes yea. Okay, so the bill reports 18-1. Thank you. Okay, let me find out where we are here now. Okay, we're back to you, Delegate. Runyon?
Mr. Chair, House Bill 641, Transportation Network Companies Authorized Collections of Cash Fares, patroned by Delegate Carr. The subcommittee recommends reporting 6-0, and I so move.
Okay, we have a motion to report in a second. Everyone vote on electronic voting board. Bill reports 19-0. Delegate Runyon?
Our last bill, House Bill 1092, Non-Repairable and Rebuilt Vehicles, repeals the Sunset Clause, patroned by Delegate Kilgore. Subcommittee recommended reporting with amendments. So I move for adoption of the amendments. The amendments are technical, Mr. Chair.
We have a motion to approve the amendments and a second. All in favor of the amendments signify by saying aye. Aye. Bill's properly before us. Go ahead, Delegate.
Move to report with amendments.
So we have a motion to report the bill with amendments. Second. Having a second. All right, vote on electronic voting board. Bill reports 19-1.
Mr. Chair, that completes my report.
Delegate Kilgore, you needed exercise anyway. Thank you. Is there any other business to come before the committee?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. I will say we will begin hearing Senate bills as quickly as we get them. So we're going to move through the docket.